All right, hey everyone. So, today is December 30th. It is a Saturday, 2023. We have 2024 coming in just a little over 24 hours. Today was the last day of the Massachusetts deer season, even though we get another day in the year. It's a Sunday in Massachusetts. We cannot hunt on Sundays. So I have actually been pretty much all set with hunting for a couple of weeks, but I've been very busy with the holidays. I hope everyone had a good holiday season so far, and hope everyone has a good New Year. Without fail, January, February, March come along, and I'm stuck in the house, and I inevitably revisit my YouTube channel because I'm not a huge watcher of TV and movies, but I like to keep busy, so YouTube is a good thing I can do from home. And so this isn't going to be really so much hunting related. And I actually, for a long time, have struggled with figuring out how to organize YouTube, whether I should just throw it all onto this channel or if I should make individual channels. I'm still struggling with that to this day, but I feel like even though hunting is a big part of my personality for the last several years, I do have other interests, and today's topic isn't really going to have anything to do with hunting per se, but what it does have to do with is it's going to allow us to actually it's going to allow us to hunt more, because this allows us to take the necessary time off work, so that we're able to get out into the woods and enjoy the woods and hunting, and contribute to conservation and our security through food stores and all that. So today we're going to be talking about stalks, which basically is in relation to the green stuff. The reason I have this cache is because this is money, and when we're purchasing stocks, this is what we're after, is money. I wanted to help visualize what we're actually after, because I feel like there's a disconnect a lot of times with the stock market. It just feels like a video game to a lot of people, and it doesn't feel real. So I really just wanted to have a prop here, just to really, show people what they're actually after with the stock market. So, stocks. So what can we expect from stocks? A quick Google search before this video basically yielded the information of the average stock market return on average for the last 100 years is roughly 10%. What does 10% mean? Well, 10% is better than your savings account, which might be 1% to 4%. So it's over double, what you're going to get off your savings account. And are all stocks going to return 10%? No. A lot are going to return less than that, and a good handful are going to return more than that. But 10% is about the average. So, that's going to be your bar. What does 10% really mean to us? I'll tell you what it really, really means. So if you have $1, if you compound 10% over 7 to 8 years, so it's between 7 and 8, you're going to have to do your own math, you're going to double your money. That's what 10% means. So $1 invested today, in 7 to 8 years at 10%, you're going to have $2. So if you invest $10 instead of $1, in 7 to 8 years, you'll have 20. If you invest 100, you'll have 200. If you invest 1,000, you'll have 2,000. If you invest 100,000, you'll have 200,000. if you invest $1 million, you'll have $2 million. This is why people with money, it's actually easier for them to make money. And if you have a lot of money, you should probably invest that money so you can keep that money rather than spending that money and then you have no money. People that get a lot of money temporarily, in very temporary situations, really, really concern me a lot, because they get used to having that money and they're not actually investing it. And what if it's gone one day? And sometimes it is gone. And you should really, really educate yourself on how to retain your wealth. So that's basically what we can expect out of the stock market. And of course, there are companies out there where you invest $1 and then 7 to 8 years later you have 2, maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe $5, 5x, in 7 to 8 years. And I will tell you, there are companies out there that have that kind of performance, and you probably have heard of them, and they are talked about quite a bit in the media. But we as human beings, we get so caught up on the month-to-month ups and downs. We aren't thinking, properly when it comes to the stock market. Like, if you're 18 years old, you're not going to get rich by the time you're 20. You really, really, really need to consider the stock market to be in like 7-year terms. So if you're making an investment today, you got to be thinking 7 years from now. And then by that rule of thumb, I see a lot of people on forums and message boards and Facebook. They are asking these questions about, should I invest in this stock? Should I invest in this stock? And they're listening to these people. And a lot of times these people don't know. So I'm going to tell you a little secret. You can make your own decision. Go back 7 years on the chart. Because if that stock is $50 7 years ago, I hope that stock was $25. Because if it was $40, you're getting a worse return than the average on that. And if you got a worse return over 7 years, the past 7 years, there might not be much of a change in the coming 7 years. I spent a lot of time, investing in bad companies that weren't doing great, in hopes for better than average return if those companies turned around. But what I found over the years is that if a company isn't doing well, it's usually for a reason, and it's probably not going to fix itself. So my new strategy has been to focus on basically the winners. If they're a good company, they're probably going to be a good company for quite a while, and it's probably a safe investment. So when you find a stock, look back 5 to 7 years, 8 years, and see what it was. And because if you have a $100 stock, I'll tell you, there are companies 7 years ago that were trading at like $3 to $20, and performing much better than the average. So, again, this has nothing to do with hunting, but it is a topic I think people really, 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 really need to explore. A lot of people explore it by default, just by working, because their companies are setting them up with 401ks and Roth IRAs, which are all driven through the stock market inherently. They're taking money out of your paycheck every week. You're probably not even noticing it, and sometimes matching those investments, and you're invested, and you just don't even have to think about it. But some people, especially when they work for themselves, they don't have that So your first step for financial security is to get a means to invest. There's so many options these days. Comment below if you need help with it. I'm not going to really go through the options right now, but there are a lot of options if you are within the United States, right on your cellular phone, online, tons and tons and tons of options. Get the means, and then from there, make a plan and invest your money weekly. Figure out how much you can afford a week, an amount that you're not going to feel that is going to strain you, that you're going to at some point stop, because the key is never to stop. Whether it's $1 a week, $5 a week, $20 a week, $100 a week, if you can afford it, the more money you're putting in, the more you're going to get back. If you're putting in $25 a week, that's $100 a month, basically $1,200 a year. That means after 7 years, if you've been doing that year after year after year and you keep doing it, you're going to be basically making $1,200 a year from there on, as long as you've been investing. The longer you are investing, you're gonna, after 7 years, you're gonna be doubling your money consistently. It's just gonna be all padding on, and it's probably the best thing that you can do for yourself as a human being. And the earlier you start, the better. Because again, you got to think in terms of 7 years. If you're over 60 years old, 7 years. You gotta start this when you're 18, 19, 20. Because the more years you have to work at it, the more you're gonna be able to benefit yourself. And so hopefully this video is useful. And if you have any questions at all, just write a little comment below. I love getting comments and questions. At this point in time, as far as my channel goes, archery has kind of gained the most traction in terms of subscriber interaction. I get questions all the time on my archery videos that are talking about various things like spine and arrow length and all sorts of stuff. And I'll be working and I get a comment for question, and I just enjoy the interaction. So again, this is not hunting related, but this is a topic that is basically applies to everyone. And again, with financial security, hopefully we can have a little less stress in our lives and take a little time off work and not worry, about it too much. And, whatever our hobbies may be, hopefully we can enjoy those. And, so signing off, and have a good new year, everyone. Bye.